Hi everyone and welcome to this live broadcast, and today I'm going to be chatting to you about managing the heat with Crohn's disease. So if you're new to me, I run A Balanced Belly, which is a blog all about living with Crohn's disease. I've had Crohn's disease since 2012 and along the way I have found heat is one of my biggest triggers. So today I just wanted to chat to you about how I kind of try my best to manage the heat, coping with dehydration and those kinds of things. So let's get started. So first of all, you might wonder why heat is relevant to IBD. And actually it's been shown that for every day that you're in a heat wave, your chances of going to hospital for a flare-up actually increase by a small percentage each day. Now, that's not to say that everybody's going to flare up in the hot weather, but it just shows that there is some kind of connection. And we think it might be because of our gut microbiome changing, but also, I guess, because like the foods we eat are different and the drinks that we drink are different. But that can be one thing to bear in mind. So if you've done nothing different, you haven't been stressed, your meds are stable, and you're suddenly feeling strange, it could definitely be the heat. So I've just got some notes that I want to talk to you about. So first of all, the first thing I'm really conscious of is staying hydrated. And when I first had Crohn's, I would just be drinking water and water. But now I've learned more about it. It's actually also about keeping hydrated in terms of electrolytes. So that can be making sure that you've got plenty of salts, and you can obviously get like rehydration mixes, but what I also try to do is kind of make recipes that kind of have a balance of sugar and salt in them, because those are the electrolytes that you often lose. So just don't be careful just not to drink lots and lots of water, because if you're just drinking plain water, that can actually dehydrate you more because it like flushes the electrolytes out. So just be conscious of the signs of dehydration, and especially if you've got like an ostomy bag, just consider actually, especially if perhaps you've been having diarrhea, should I be having like an electrolyte solution? And you can buy those, or you can just Google electrolyte solution recipes, and there's tons and tons of information on the internet. The next thing is I try to be really conscious of the food I eat. So actually in the summer we're drawn to raw foods, aren't we, like fresh fruit and salads, but actually they can be really good. So I'm not saying don't eat vegetables, but we just don't really want to cook in this weather, do we? And therefore we'll just grab raw fruit and raw veg, but they contain insoluble fibre that can be really tough and can be quite tricky to break down in the digestive system. So even though it's hot, still making sure that you're trying to kind of blend or cook your fruits and vegetables can help if your digestive system is sensitive. Because if you think about it, if you think of like a raw stick of celery, that's actually quite tough and fibrous, but if we break it down, like juice it or blend it or even cook it, that's going to soften, and that's only going to be better for our digestive system if you're one of those people that struggle to digest lots and lots of fibre. The third thing I'm also conscious of in the heat is sun cream and protection. So just a reminder that many of us with IBD take immunosuppressant drugs, which means that we are like more sensitive to getting sunburn and various complications of that. So making sure that you're always covered up and applying as much sun cream as possible. I really find that like loose clothing such as like harem trousers, like baggy dresses, can be helpful because they're really cool but also cover you up, because obviously the less chance of sunburn the better. Another thing is definitely with things like nausea, because that can increase in the heat. So I definitely reach for things like ginger, and I've been making a ginger and mango smoothie recipe lately that's been lovely. So that's been really, really helpful. So definitely reach for foods like ginger that can help with nausea, and turmeric, which can just be a really good anti-inflammatory food in general. If you're a bit like me and you're just feeling a bit sicky with the heat, don't just not eat, because I know we can sometimes think that's easier. But what I've been doing is perhaps rather than having a full breakfast, I'll be making a smoothie, but making sure it's got like a protein powder in there, like I mentioned, some ginger and vegetables. So blending that all up, so it's really, really easy on my gut to digest. It's not really doing much work, but I just know that I'm actually getting some nutrients in there. Although it doesn't seem like the weather for it at all, I will sometimes make a batch of soup and have some bone broth with it, just because I know that it's really, really easy for my gut to digest. So I'm just trying to do as much as I can to just take it really, really easy with my gut. I think the next thing is to just acknowledge that actually that heat can be a trigger for you. And I'm lucky enough to work from home, so I've actually been trying to like shift my day around. So I've been trying to get up a little bit earlier. And by the time it comes to the midday, I've been kind of the least productive, but that's okay. I know that I need to rest. I know I need to drink plenty of water and stay out of the sun. And then perhaps at the evening time, I feel like I'm almost coming to life a little bit. So being aware of how the heat works for you. In England, we tend to rush to the beer gardens when it's hot. So making sure that you are conscious of the amount of alcohol we drink, because often in the summer we don't really realize how much we're drinking. It's like more acceptable to drink in the daytime. Alcohol and Crohn's is perhaps a whole other video that I can do, but just being really conscious of that, because obviously alcohol is even more dehydrating. So I think those are my main tips. Just trying to keep really cool. I'm really conscious of my raw food. I'm really conscious of trying to eat even though I have nausea. Understanding that heat affects you, especially with things like fatigue. So being realistic. Some of us try and keep to our routine exactly, keep going to the gym, keep working our regular hours. But I think with Crohn's, one of the most important things is to be adaptive and flexible and realise actually that's not always going to be the way. Making sure our sun cream is all in our bag at all times, so protected. And the good thing about the sun, however, is our vitamin D levels. So lots of us with Crohn's are vitamin D deficient. It's estimated about 1/3 of us. So on the one hand, the good thing about the sun is it does encourage us to get some more vitamin D. So you might want to keep an eye on your levels so you're not kind of supplementing too much vitamin D, and making sure that you're kind of getting the right amount. In winter, I tend to be like a little bit low in vitamin D, but in the summer I tend to be fine. Touch wood. So I make sure kind of I keep an eye on it, but that's one good thing. And although we do need to be careful of sun cream and keeping protected, just having a small amount of time without that, you know, like 10 minutes perhaps in the morning, just to make sure we get that dose of vitamin D can be great. So that was my first live stream. So I've really enjoyed using the Zubia app. And just a reminder that patients like us with Crohn's can participate in clinical trials, like on the clinicaltrialchannel.com, which Zubia, they post those clinical trials on that website. So I noticed there's one at on Crohn's at the moment, so definitely take a look at that. Anything we can do to kind of help move research forward is really, really helpful. Yeah, and that's me. I think next time I'll be talking about Humira, because I'm about to start Humira on Wednesday actually. So I think I might jump on Wednesday and do a little live broadcast of how I'm feeling about starting it. But otherwise, I'll see you next time.